What's up, everybody? We have another game with the black pieces. White goes e4, we go d6. We're playing Delamere, rated 1766, strong player. He goes e4, d4, taking control of the whole center. We go knight f6, threatening his pawn. He goes knight c3, defending his pawn. We're going to play the Philidor with e5. He does not take and go for the queen trade line, which we've seen. He pushes past. Now that he pushes past, we can go for the f5 plan or the c6 plan. We're going to go for the c6 plan. He takes our pawn. We want to recapture back with the pawn, not the knight, so that we can control his central square for his pieces and so that we can push in the future. If you take back with the knight, it ends up being a giant hole that he can jump into with his pieces. Now we have these nice central pawns. Two in the center, he has one. White develops his bishop. What does this threaten? It puts pressure on this diagonal and the f7 pawn specifically. Drawback, undefends this diagonal. Maybe walks into a future d5 when it's prepared. Okay, it's our turn. We want to continue developing. Maybe you can put this here and go for this structure. But for right now, I want to just develop my bishop, castle, and then I'll go for that, because then my rook will at least be here when it opens up. So white develops his knight. What does this threaten? I want to say the only reason is to play f4, that he wouldn't want to block it. That's my guess. So we'll assume he wants to play f4. The drawback is he's not castled either way. That might be weaker for him than for me. I'm just going to castle. Nice and solid. Beautiful. Okay, he castles. What's the threat? No threat. Or maybe now the threat is f4. Drawback. His knight's on a weird spot. But now it's our turn. We get to choose what to do. What do we want to do? Is this playable? Takes. Not playable. Okay, we can continue developing with our knight. Or maybe we can throw our bishop in here. I'm going to go for the bishop in here as opposed to knight. I'm sure you can do either one. Maybe one's better than the other. I don't know. I don't really care in this position. So he takes, no threat. We have to take back. Further support for the center. Further support for that pawn push. Slightly weakening, true, but it does open up our rook. And it does support some squares. So, not the end of the world, right? And now we have three central pawns to his one. It's interesting. We didn't have to do that. You could have developed the knight and left the structure, but I want to try this. Since I'm new to the Philidor, I want to try new stuff and see what happens. And now, it's weird that his knight's not here if he doesn't push. I feel like, but now if he pushes, I have two sets of e-pawns to guard, which is kind of cool. So if he pushes, what do we do? Okay, he doesn't push. He goes h3. What does this threaten? Nothing. Gives his king a little luft. It actually makes f4 weaker because now the g3 square is weaker now that he moved the h-pawn. So I'm very happy to see that move. Not sure why he did that. So I guess we can continue developing. I mean, maybe we could just push in the center first. And if he takes, you know what, let's push in the center. I think he's giving us the time that we need. If his knight was here, he'd be pressuring this pawn, and this wouldn't be possible. But because his knight's on this weird square, we get to push. He goes f3. What does this threaten? He's just defending his own pawn. The drawback severely weakens the dark squares around his king. Okay. So he doesn't want to take. If I take him, and he takes my queen, and I take back, and he takes my pawn, I mean, there's no point in any of that. I can give these checks at any point. He can't block. If he moves his king, maybe then knight in here threatens some stuff. I could also push. Where does his knight go? Okay, so if I push and he goes back, whatever. If I push and he goes to the side. I don't really see the point. I kind of want to keep this diagonal open for tactics and stuff. So I'm leaning more towards, you know, these ideas and attacking his king. I do maybe want to throw in queen b6 though. It seems like a free developing move. He doesn't get to play this, which he might wanted to have do at some point. Now he can't. His king goes here. Looks a little weird. Very fishy what's happening. But since his dark squares are weak, I think maybe now take advantage of it or develop. If we go here, what are we actually threatening? Not entirely sure. Let's just bring in our other piece, because that can't be a bad move. Knight h5, it might be a good move. It might be a waste of time bad move. Whereas bringing this knight in, you know, even if it's not the best, it can't be bad. Because it has to get in. And when you move this here, and let's say he does something like this, you want to be able to reinforce it with the knight, you know? So, what did he just do? Jesus Christ. A3. What is happening? This is such a waste of time. No threat. Drawback is I get free turns, which is amazing. I think now's the time to take control of these dark squares. Maybe stick my bishop in here. Maybe bring my queen back. Maybe it doesn't actually belong here. Although I guess for the time being, maybe he doesn't want to move his bishop. He's afraid. Oh, so is he doing this to go here so that it's not hanging? That's a terrible idea. Okay, well, I mean, maybe he wants to fianchetto, put some pressure here, but 2 moves, pawn moves, not developing, no threats, really don't like it. But how do I really take advantage of it though? Like, even if I hop my knight here, and he captures it with either piece and I take, that opens up the center for my knight. It's a little weird though. The drawback of this is it loosens up this knight. At any point I can push, he goes to the side. I could bring my queen back around, but do I want the center locked like that? I don't think it's worth my time. How do I increase the force count on the king side? I guess this is the answer. Now let's play a random multi-purpose move. This protects everything, prepares doubling somewhere in the future, passes the turn back. Like, it's a move I'm going to want to make in the future at some point. I'm doing it now. And maybe I'll do this next. Maybe I'll do this next. I could also just destroy his queen side now that he played so terribly. I can attack it with a5. I can still do all of that. f7 was just a very random but flexible and useful move. He can't attack it in any way. It's going to be useful for sure. We'll find out how in the future, but okay, so he improves his queen, threatens this, which walks into this, which I might let him do. Also eyes this if he takes. Walks into this if he takes and I take. Center kind of opens up. I don't really want to put a pawn on the f4 square though. What else do I have? I can still kick this, but again, Maybe now it's stronger because if he ever goes here, I just go back around. If he puts it here, it's covered. And then he really has no play. Hard to say. Also, his rook is not connected to his other rook, which is interesting. I think I'm just going to push. I think his position is so bad that normally where I would keep the tension, everything's just so awkward. If he wants piece activity, he's going to have to play f4, but it really weakens that side of the board, his kings. And I mean, he can't really do much on this side of the board. There's not really anything going there. Fianchetto now, I don't know about that. Maybe now I can even just play on this side, c5, c4. So he goes here, but he can't reroute it here, which means maybe he's going this way. Drawback is, come on, nothing's connected. It looks awful. I could probably push this. I think this gets him off the hook by letting him trade pieces. So you know what? I could also go this way. But I'm going to go c5 and change my plan. I'm not going to go for any type of king attack yet. I mean, this stuff's still weak, but we'll see what happens. I don't want to trade pieces for him because his pieces are kind of stuck. Like, this actually has nowhere to go. This kind of has nowhere to go. This is defending weaknesses, but has nowhere to go. If I can get this in, that would be a great push. His queen's defending it now. If he takes, I take with the knight. Good position. I'm running at, I'm under 3 minutes. Not again. Okay, so he takes, which I don't think was the way. He moves his queen back, attacks on some dark squares. Okay. Drawback is undefends this pawn, and I'm going to take it because his rook is not connected to his rooks. That's why you connect rooks to complete the opening. This is exactly why. Because when they're not connected, they're not supporting each other, which means tactics are always in your opponent's favor. Thank God he did this, because with such little time I really needed a bone. He just threw me one. Now they coordinate even more in the dark squares. He can't take. His queen's hit. If he moves his queen, I don't want to trade. I'm not coordinating this. Takes, king out. I have no follow-up. So where am I moving my knight? Am I going here? Maybe here, just like get a bishop, here, bishop here. Man, I can't draw arrows. Here, and then push the pawn for some like weird stuff. I don't really know. If he ever goes here, we have this pawn push discovery. If I retreat here for a turn, then I can go back here, which might be nice. Although, where else? This is no good. Where am I really going with this one if he kicks me? Okay, so he moves his queen this way to cover the dark squares. I don't want to think too much. This also covers his rook. I'm going to double stack. I told you this move would be useful. Now it's useful. If he takes my knight, his rook is still hanging. Because I don't really see a good square for my knight. So if I can keep it here, that's ideal. And if he runs out of time too, that's also ideal. My position is plus 1,000,000, right? So hopefully you already learned what you needed to learn. Now if I throw the game, that's something else. It has nothing to do with your learning. Okay, he develops a knight. That looks weird. Okay, where am I moving my knight? Where am I moving my knight? Just move it anywhere. Come on, Joey, move it anywhere. We'll move it here and we'll give him one piece trade. Only to activate our bishop to get it into his position, because this diagonal actually doesn't do anything. It looks nice. It doesn't do anything. Come on, guy, think. Run out of time. What a weird two knights next to each other like this. If he doesn't move a move like this, I'm going to take his pawn. And if he takes, okay, so he takes the knight. I take this. I'm up one pawn. Okay, so I'm not going to convert this the best way for sure. He develops the knight. This threatens the pawn. But I feel like he had other squares. So now what do we want to do? How do we checkmate this guy? I don't know. Let's just give him a check. But now this pawn hangs in all those lines. Sheesh. Okay, he doesn't see it. I can't take the pawn. This is going to triple isolate my pawns, yes. But they kind of cut the board in half. Oh, whoops. I just hung everything. No good, no good. Okay, so how do I come back from all these? No good. Here. Man. I'm just going to give him the rook, probably. I'm going to give him the rook with a minute on my clock. I don't want to move it and waste time. I'm going to set this angle up. If I can maybe go here and get him to take. The knight's still defending. But he's likely to move that knight, though, at some point. He takes my rook. I take back. Now he's up in exchange. Okay. How do I trick this guy now? His king is still in a weird position. He just moves it. I'm just going to lift my rook. Maybe some stuff. If I get him to push, maybe it creates weaknesses. I don't even know at this point. My king is weak now. It's exposed to back rank stuff. I don't actually have an attack here. What did he do? Wait, he moves his queen away? Is he gonna take this? Please take that with your knight. Please take that with your knight. Okay, he doesn't take it. So now how do I win this? How do I win this? H5, I have... Come on, I have dark square control. His rook's not doing anything in the corner. My bishop has to be better. How do I win this? I have to have like some type of dark square genius. Okay, let me go here. It also creates space for my king. This check doesn't matter. Also, it hangs. Hopefully, he hangs it. He can't take. If I take and he takes this way. No, because then he has these checks. Scheisse. He covers the dark squares. Ah! I just made a random move because I have 20 seconds and I'm panicking. If I just had time to think. Oh no. Oh no, the queen trade? Don't do the queen trade, dude. Oh no, I have 14 seconds. Come on, don't flag. Move, 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 move. He's 30 seconds. Okay, move, 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 move. There we go. There we go. Move, move, move. You're a genius. The threats are too many. The threats are too many. Queen h4 is coming. Queen h4 is coming. Checkmate. 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 Yes, yes, yes. Haha. Let's go. Way to throw, Delamere. I cannot play with no time. I cannot play with no time. Oh my god. that worked.
We will be closing soon, so grab what you need and head on up to the cash register.
Ignore that. Oh my god. Okay, so let me go to the analysis board. I must have been just crushing before I got to 230. Okay, so you see already in this position, now this is what I'm telling you. Philidor line, right? It's very natural for people to push or to take, but either way, right? Let's say they push and I go C6. If they take, already here on move 5, black is better. Move 5, and white played some natural looking stuff, right? But once I take back, white loses their advantage. I have 2 pawns in the center, they don't. There you go, simple. Okay, so yeah, you can put your bishop here, like I said, fine. Fine. Yeah, this move was crazy. Okay, so my move, they do like it, okay. Okay, +7, so takes. Knight to the side, okay, it's not still even, completely even. Rook F7 is on their list, that's funny. That's such a computer move. Okay, so he moves his queen. This is all normal stuff. How is this push? Out of curiosity, is this even like a thing? I was really hesitant to do it because I was saying like you could just go A5, which is they like A5. Yeah, pushing this gives back the advantage, but I think practically speaking, it's very hard to play for white, like very hard. And I think taking was obviously huge because my pieces get in. Yeah. And it was completely crushing. -4, -4. I give him, and then here. Yeah, this is when I was panicking. I had 2 minutes 23. I wish I had more time to figure out the real conversion, but to try to simplify, I did this. Giving him the trade, it's like I was saying earlier, you don't want to give him the trades because his pieces are so stuck and bad. But I was just trying to make moves so I don't run out of time and I can get my thing in, but it didn't work out well. This ended up being weak. Just another reason I shouldn't have pushed earlier, although I still don't think pushing is bad. And again, I didn't like this because once he takes the bishop, your E5 pawn is just completely toast, and you kind of want it there. So I didn't like that. Yeah, pushing's actually genius. You see that with time on your clock. And then I threw the entire game. I threw hard. Okay, so yeah, here they want you to even move the rook, but I don't move it. I just give it up. They say I'm still -2, even if I just move the rook. But now they say white's better because I gave him the rook for no reason. I still like my move, considering I had a minute on my clock, and this rook doesn't matter in the corner until he gets it in the game, right? That's 5 points of material that just doesn't matter until he gets it in the game while I'm attacking his king with all of my pieces, right? So time is of the essence, and if he doesn't play accurately, and I do, it could be very troublesome for him. So he moves in just like that. He makes one move, right, with his king, which looks natural because you're getting out of this pin. -3, right? So it's like, and I didn't even play the best move. He's just hanging stuff over here and walking into other pins, walking into D3. But I didn't even play that. I just did this because I was trying to hunt this king. That's all my mind was set on. 0.6. And here we have this tactic because takes, rook over. Okay, what did I play? Rook over first. Yeah, and it was just a matter of who blunders, you know. Okay, but overall it was a pretty good game. It was kind of obvious that black was putting the pressure the entire time, right? Look at this, white's passive, right? Black's the one who's doing something in the center, doing something on the king side. What's white really doing? And so it's a lot easier to play with black. It's a lot harder, it's a lot easier to make mistakes with white, which is what happened. Luckily, this guy took a long time. Thank you. And so we kind of walked away with that. If he moved faster, we would have lost for sure. But anyway, hope this helps. Hope you enjoyed it. Send me your games for review in the Discord. Goodbye and good luck.